Well, hello everybody, and welcome to the local pundit. It is Pundit Punts Day, and oh my God, there's a live match going on right now, which affects us greatly. And I can't watch it. I don't have that game. I didn't pay for it. I mean, it's not on NBN Sports here in Australia. But currently, we are out of the playoff position. Southampton up 1-0 in the 88th minute. It is all happening. So I can see some people. There's probably heaps of people watching the game over in the UK, getting their probably tearing their hair out. It's not the end of the world, but we will see how it all plays out. It is all happening here in the game at the 88th minute. I'm not too sure where we'll end up with extra time, but I'm watching the play-by-play on FOTMob, but not getting the game. So I will keep an eye on it. But while I do that, I will get into Pundit Punts and we will get into the footy tips. So let's bring up the footy tip spreadsheet. And here it is. And we have some games to get through this week. And as we come into the weekend, going to be very interesting. This is the last round before the international break. So looking forward to seeing that. Love to hear people's thoughts on what they think of it all. But yeah, currently we have 1-0 in the 89th minute. So it is almost 90 minutes already. And yeah, so we will see where it ends up. But Southampton clinging to a 1-0 lead. I can see plenty of attack by Norwich, but not getting it done. So yeah, very interesting indeed as we watch this play out. But I will get into my tips and we will see where we end up. Now, the game I do have on at the moment is the Champions League, which is playing out as we speak. Liverpool up 4-0 against Galatasaray, and well, I butchered that, Galatasaray, and 4-1 on aggregate. But we will get into the championship because that is what we're here for. Preston to start the weekend with the Friday game at home to Stoke City. And to be honest, I actually am not too sure about this game. Stoke's just been so bad. I have tipped a 2-1 victory here to Stoke over Preston. I do think Stoke's just got a little bit more to play for, but in my opinion. But yeah, we get into it's a bit of a meh game for the start to the weekend. So, sorry to all the Preston and Stoke fans out there, but yeah, that's where it is at. It is currently still in the 90th minute, 1-0 to Southampton over Norwich. But banger, then we get into some absolute bangers of games for the weekend. So it goes nuts. I know a couple of the boys will be joining me later, but first up, Ipswich at home to Millwall in what is a massive game for playoff positions, for the opportunity to get automatic promotion. Both these teams, so much to play for. And I'll tell you what, I really was struggling with this, but I do think that Ipswich will be too strong for Millwall at home and will just shade them and win 2-1. We're into extra time now in Southampton v Norwich, just so you know. I'll keep giving you live updates. And it is still 1-0. So, yeah, I will just check the commentary there, see if we've got how many extra minutes. I can't see that yet. It hasn't been given to me, but I will keep an eye on it. Next up, here we go. We have, as I move my screens across, just so I can see what's going on there, Derby at home to Birmingham. Another cracking game. And, look, Derby just behind us now on the table. So where will it end up? It's very hard to say. But I do think this game, I have tipped my first draw of the weekend. And I know they say not to tip draws at this time of the season, but I actually think this is going to be the weekend for draws. I think we're going to get a few. So we will see how it plays out. But time will tell. Next up, Blackburn at home to Middlesbrough. And, Blackburn with a lot to play for, and we will see. But I just don't know. I mean, again, 92nd minute, Southampton still 1-0 up against Norwich. Blackburn, Middlesbrough. I think Middlesbrough should be too strong. And I have tipped a 2-1 victory to Middlesbrough. And I see, are you ready to jump on in, John? Yep, good to go. How are you, buddy?
I'm good, thanks, mate. You?
Yeah, very good, very good. Just seeing at the end. Did you get this game on telly, the Norwich Southampton game?
No, I couldn't find it anywhere, so I've been watching Champions League.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, I've been watching a bit of Liverpool, actually, which is my other team. So who have you been watching?
I was also watching Liverpool, to be fair, though. I nearly fell asleep in it, so...
It doesn't look like they've got much competition there in that one, have they?
No, not really.
No, too strong at home. So, yeah, and looking good for, well, for you, particularly with the Southampton win over Norwich for your tipping.
Yeah. I think I said early in the Discord, I wouldn't be surprised if it ended a draw. But just the home advantage just kind of made me swing. And plus, I kind of did think you would drop points last night. I didn't think you'd lose. I think I tipped a draw, but I thought you'd drop points, which I thought would give Southampton a bit of a G up, shall we say.
Yeah, no, and that's a fair call too. I tipped us to win, but I mean, I think I said in game day build up, I was, it was a red flag game for me. I was not confident. I said there was 7 minutes of added time in this game, so there's 3.5 minutes to go, just so you know, Southampton v Norwich. But yeah, and it panned out exactly as you said. Like, Watford did get over the top of us, and now it's looking like, I mean, you did, yeah, and now it looks like Southampton's gonna. Well, at the moment they're above us on the table.
Yeah. I mean, the Watford game was always a banana skin, wasn't it? They're a decent side at home. They're a bit like us away from home. They're pretty atrocious, but then they hadn't really been in form. But they're one of those funny sides. When you look at their players and you look at them play, you think, oh, they got some talent. They just don't seem to turn up every week. That's the problem.
Yeah, I was about to say the same thing. They run very hot and cold, and I was worried about which Watford we were going to see. And we saw a very aggressive, speedy, attacking Watford, and exposed us very well.
Yeah. Kind of. They hit you on the counter, didn't they? Quite a few times.
Yeah, and they got plenty of speed.
Yeah, I think the highlight of the game though was Rathbone's air shot. That's got to be the highlight.
Was he touched or not touched?
No, it's a complete air shot.
Okay, fair enough.
He might have got. There might have been a touch, like a feather on his back, but he didn't get nudged. It's not a foul. It's
no.
He's just gone to leather it and mistimed it.
Fair enough. Well, I'll take that one as is, and I'll let that play out. Now, as you can see, I'm a few games in here. 4 games in. I'm up to, ironically, Sheffield United at home to Wrexham. I tell you what, we are crying out for the international break as a team.
Yeah, you got a few injuries, haven't you?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we absolutely have. I mean, Dobbo's back off his 3-match ban for this game, and sorely needed, to be honest, because as much as I don't think he's the best midfielder in our squad, he's the best midfielder in our squad that's not injured at the moment.
Yeah, and Sheffield get a player back as well, don't they, from suspension?
Yeah. So gonna be interesting. But in this game, I have tipped a 1-1 draw. I've taken my heart out of it. I can't see us winning.
I'm gonna say I think you voted with your heart there. I think
even I might even be a little bit with my heart here.
Yeah, I was impressed with Sheffield United when we played them last weekend. I know they were down to 10 men and they sort of, did the ugly side of the game. I'll be brutally honest. I think if it had been 11v11 for them the full 90, I think they beat us. I think they were good. To be fair, they really were. Looked a well organised side, typical Chris Wilder. And it pains me to say it. They got some talent. O'Hare, Harmer's back, isn't he, from suspension? I think if it was at your ground, I think I'd probably back you. I think it's the fact that it's at their ground. I would probably back them marginally.
Yep. Yeah, and that's just it. I may even be a little bit with my heart here. Like I said, we're crying out for the international break. I see Josh has said we may have blown it. There's a long way to go yet, Josh. Long way to go. You're an emotional man, and I'd love to have you in here to get your emotion. We'll play on through these tips. I'll get through mine. We're in the final. Like they're over the 97th minute, but there was a Southampton player went down injured, so it might get to 98, 99 minutes here. But they're still up 1-0 Southampton. So yeah, Scum Army's here as well. So yeah, he'd be very happy right now. I can't believe he's here. I'm sure he'd be watching the game. Well, Southampton fan and his team. Maybe he thinks they've got it, and it's looking good for them.
Or he's turned it off because he just can't bear to watch.
That's true too. Well, I might get through the rest of these tips. Might get the tips out of the way, and then we might get into a bit of chat because there's going to be some good stuff to chat about. So I'll get into it. Charlton v Norwich. Now, interestingly enough, I mean, obviously, Norwich playing as we speak, so they got a very short turnaround to this game, which led me to that influenced my decision here. I've actually tipped a typical Nathan Jones result here. I can see Norwich losing this game.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one.
Especially if they'd won this game, but they haven't.
Yeah, I'm actually in agreement with you there. I think I think Charlton might do them at home.
Yep. Well, it's still going. It's 98-33. Norwich throwing in the attacking half, but I haven't got it. I've got it up on FotMob, so I can just see a play-by-play there. But next up, QPR v Portsmouth. Who's showing up? You know what I mean?
Mad, ain't it? Because I watched QPR against us a week or so ago. No word of a lie. They are the worst side I have seen down St Andrews for years. They were terrible. And then they go and beat Leicester away from home 3-1. So who knows?
Who knows? And what did I do? 2-1 Portsmouth. Yeah, I just think they've got more to play for.
That'd be a huge result down the bottom if they did pull that off.
Yeah. And there it is, full time. Southampton 1-0 over Norwich. It's official. Birmingham are making the playoffs.
That'd be mad, man.
I don't think you noticed. Did you notice the other day, John? I actually came on the Champ Chat and I put your name up for myself. I came on as you. I thought you can't miss the show.
Yes. Yeah. Well, it was Mother's Sunday this weekend, so Monday night I was taking my delightful mother out. So
good on you, mate. Good on you. What a good son.
Well, occasionally, you got to do it, haven't you?
Yeah. And I didn't. That's not Mother's Day down here. It's a different time of the year for us, so I didn't have to deal with that. Next up, Watford at home to Leicester. Now, massive game this for Leicester. Now, I mean, obviously, I've just seen what Watford do, but Watford run so hot and cold, and I just, I still think if the same Watford shows up that showed up against us, they'll win. My worry is that it won't be the same Watford.
Yeah, I pretty much agree with you there. I don't even think Watford need to be as good as they were against you to beat that Leicester side right now. That Leicester side worry me, to be honest. I really think they're in trouble. They look pretty doomed. Yep.
No, fair call. Well, next up, Southampton, who've just won, literally just finished the game. Scum Army, here we go. Southampton didn't play pretty scrappy, but dug out the win. Did play pretty scrappy, maybe. But Southampton at home to Oxford, and Oxford so much to play for. Southampton so much to play for. So because of that, you have to tip the team that's up higher on the ladder, especially significantly higher on the ladder.
That has got Southampton comfortable for me, because Oxford won't come and try and win the game. They'll come and try and be awkward and sit back. And I just feel against Southampton, that's almost the worst thing you can do, really.
Yeah, too much quality too, I think.
Yeah, you give them too much of the ball, and over 90 minutes they're going to pick you apart.
Yeah, they're gonna dismantle you somewhere. Next up, oh God, there's some absolute bangers this weekend, John. But there's some games this weekend where I just go, oh my God, I just could not care less.
0-0, move on.
Well, Bristol, West Brom, here we go. 1-0 Bristol. I've tipped them to get a goal. But that's it. And I do not think it will be exciting by any means. So, yeah. So I'll just skip right past that. Hull versus Sheffield Wednesday. You have to tip Hull, obviously. And I will tip a 2-0 win to Hull. And I think 2-0, no more, because I think what happens is, yeah, you're right, Scum Army. The Friday night game is a shocker this week, Preston v Stoke. But in this game, I think teams now, when they play Sheffield Wednesday, they get up 2-0 and they go, let's not get any injuries. Let's just get to full time and get out of here. You know?
Yeah, they become a bit of a training match, don't they, after the game's won, shall we say. And then it's, not fun.
Yeah. Now, interestingly enough, I think this last game of the weekend will be a good game. Swansea at home are a different team to Swansea away. You know, Coventry, top of the table, obviously, but they wouldn't want to have a loss here. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Swansea's home form recently is really good, especially against the I think the top six. Their home form is particularly good. I just think Coventry will be too strong for them myself. I think had Coventry beaten Southampton, as daft as it sounds, I think Swansea might have had a better chance. I just think Coventry will be looking for a reaction after that loss. So
yeah. So, and I've actually tipped a 1-1 draw.
Predicting draws again, Kent.
I did say this at the start of the show. They say not to tip draws, and you say it more than anybody. And I have tipped, I think, 3 draws this week. Yeah. One of them's us, which isn't pretty. But yeah, and Swansea, Coventry. And I want to be wrong about us. And Derby, Birmingham, I don't know. So I've tipped you to draw, I've tipped us to draw, and I've tipped the top of the table to draw. Now, what's your thoughts on that, on your game against Derby?
Could be absolutely anything. I think the smart money was probably on a draw, because Derby are not particularly great at home. We're not great away from home, but I don't know. I mean, we're a bit Jekyll and Hyde at the moment. We might turn up and play really well and win. We could also turn up and not really care and get rolled over 2-0 comfortably. I honestly wouldn't. And it's an early kickoff. It's the one of the 12:30 games. So it's one of the early kickoffs, which I hate early kickoffs. They're always flat, which I think might suit Derby, because it's, flat game. I think we need a bit of energy in the game to perform.
Okay. Yeah. So, I mean, and you guys are travelling to Derby too. So,
yeah, and of course, obviously, I know there's a few Birmingham fans out there. If results go away and we can win and blah blah blah, it's not all done, which I know it isn't technically, but it is. But it's one of those where, we've just got to win games. That's the thing. Just got to win games and play well.
Yeah, and I think tonight probably put the death knell in Norwich of their ever so slim hope. If they'd gone to Southampton and beaten Southampton and gone to 54 points and only been 6 points behind us in 6th spot, you couldn't discount them at that point.
No, you couldn't. And I suppose there is a school of thought is if they win and win the next 4 or 5 games on the spin, how likely is that? Unlikely.
Well, it's happened tonight, hasn't it?
Yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's probably put the death knell in them. I will remove this. We will get that out of here. It's interesting. I notice we might have another guest jumping in soon, but I will bring up just quickly Here we go. I will bring up the table.
You sure you want to do that to yourself?
I'm fine with it. Like, I will say, like, you know, I mean, I want us to make the playoffs. I predicted us to finish 7th, and I'm standing by it. And I'll still be happy with that when I look back and reflect on it at the end of the season. Do I want us to be in the playoffs? Absolutely, yes, I do. Do I want us to get promoted? Yes, I do. Is it likely to happen? Probably not, but that's okay. But yeah, so, you know, that's my thoughts on it. That's where I sit. I will get in this guy, and we'll see how he is. This is the helpline. You know, this is where Josh is reaching out, making sure he's like, "How are you, buddy?"
Hey John, how you doing, guys? I'm having a moment. Having a moment. Having a moment.
The emotional fan. Definitely.
No, it's more of a realistic fan of just you know, I think I'm gonna give John credit, and I fucking hate doing it.
Okay, get out of here. I'll kick you out if you start doing stuff like that.
Yeah, kick me out. Do what you gotta do. Listen, it's the championship, and it's been said all the time, and I think that I had a little bit of reflection. I think that we may have shot ourselves in the foot in January by not investing in the squad and getting some players in that, you know, could be quote unquote starters. And then with the result tonight, and Phil's 9 times out of 10, you know, not changing the squad works, but it might not work at this level. And I think that, I know we got games to go and there's a lot of twists and turns that can happen, but I look at what happened yesterday at that first half, and I'm just like, wow, that is shocking. Because you oscillate between, you know, being a very competitive team to being an uncompetitive team. And we got absolutely bullied. And yeah, the second half was the second half. But you know, it raises red flags to me. And maybe it's being pedantic and emotional, but the injuries are bad. And you know, I don't think we invested in well in January now. I really don't.
Okay. Yep.
I mean, quick question. Do you think because obviously you beat Swansea, didn't you? Was it the game before Watford you beat Swansea?
Yeah, and then Hull beat us. Yep, Hull beat us.
Hull beat you, and then the Swansea game, I did watch that, and I know you won. Do you think you played well? Because I'll be honest, I thought Swansea were the better side. You took your chances. They were the better side.
Yeah. To be honest, I didn't think either side was great. Look, we gave them possession. We were happy for them to have possession, and we hit them on the counter. But they weren't great with the ball. They didn't look like Ipswich or Southampton with the ball.
No. Coventry, yeah.
Yep. So I think coming out of January, Josh, to your point, I think we didn't get the players probably that we wanted in January. Possibly, you know, and we'll never know. But also I think that, you know, I did say it, the most important thing out of January was that first month is to not get any injuries. And that's exactly what we did. We went and got a whack of injuries.
Midfield, lost our midfield and our wingers again.
Yeah.
Right?
Which is just in our most vulnerable positions. And now, like, Thomason was absolutely gassed against Watford, and he came up against a team that's super fast. Yeah. You know, like, and that hurt him. He couldn't attack because he didn't have a player beat for speed. And he's pretty quick, but he wasn't as quick as their players. And like, he's played every minute for I don't know how many games now. And so he's just as a wing back, and Parky's wing backs do a lot of work.
And I think that I think Parkinson's being big boyed by Manchester City with Kabore. It's pretty obvious to me now. You know, he's not our player, and they're managing his minutes for him. And you start a game, then you don't start him. I'll say flat out, I think he's being absolutely, told what to do for Kabore, and I think it's affecting our team for sure.
Do you think that's Man City, or do you think that that's the medical team saying what his load can be? I hate the word load, but they all do. They always say it with guys these days. It's about their load and the red lines and all this sort of stuff. Do you think that's your medical staff, or do you think
I think it's City's.
Man City.
I think it's Manchester City's. I think it's Manchester City's. I think we have no say. Or else he wouldn't have went away to look at the data right now. The two guys that are quote unquote injured right now, Libby and Kiefer Moore, are not going away on international duty. Kabore went away. He was kind of maybe ready. I think that his minutes are his load minutes or the red lines. I think it's all being by Manchester City. And Phil said it earlier. I know, I just, not that that's the end all be all, but to Ken's point, we lost Ben Sheaf, we lost Matty James, and now we lost our wingers. And I think that Kabore we're being told what to do with him because it's Manchester City and we're the lower side.
And he is their player.
He's their player. Nothing you can do about it.
No. I will also say, if you watch back the replay, I think there was very poor interplay between Kabore, and I'm not blaming Kabore, between him and the other players in how to best use him. He was getting passed the ball in an attacking position, a semi-attacking position out wide, and was being double-teamed instead of the players controlling the ball and getting him to run through with the ball being passed onto him. It's a way more effective way of using his pace. He can't use his pace with the ball at his feet and beat the man as effectively as a pass that comes back from him cutting through a classic 1-2 and the ball trying to be passed through to him. I thought that was very poor tactically, the way he was being used in that game.
I've never seen a first half like that before. It
wasn't great, but it is what it is. I mean, we are where we are, and look, and to that point, we're outside the six, only on 4 and against, and we're only 3 points behind Hull. So it is still a lot to play for. But in saying that, Derby's only 3 points behind us. And to be honest, I mean, with the runway getting so short now, like a maximum of 24 points available, you're probably going to get
18.
Probably 16 at best.
16, 18.
2 points a game is 16 points. You get a loss in there, makes it very hard to get 2 points a game.
I will flat out say I'm holding back a lot. I'm holding back a lot. I am.
Yeah.
No, I'm not. I'm gonna grab this. 1 second. Let me grab this. Right back.
So what do you think, John? Like, I think 2 points per game is, you can't expect too much more than that.
I think if you could get 2 points per game, that would be fantastic.
Yes, that's me too. Yeah.
Looking at your fixture list, I think that's going to be incredibly hard to do.
I agree totally. Absolutely.
I think Paddy said it in one of the Champ Chat shows probably a month or so ago, where he said there was I can't remember if he said it was February or March or something. He said you guys needed to pick up some points and sort of get higher up the table because the tough running at the end of the season was not going to be kind.
Paddy's summation was the end of the season is very tough for us, and so it made it quite tricky. And I'm just going to go back and bring that up now. But yeah, I'm with you on that. So, but again, it also depends at the end of the season. Our last 2 games are Coventry and Middlesbrough, depending on where they're at, which because of the tightness of the league, I don't know that those games will be dead rubbers at that point in time.
I'll be brutally honest. I think they are 2 of the worst fixtures you could possibly have, because you've got Coventry second last game of the season, isn't it?
Yep.
Away. Which means, hate to break the news to you, that'll be the game they get the trophy. So
the celebration game. Yep.
Celebration game. So thanks.
And if they've already got the trophy, it will have been away against Oxford, and their fans will all turn up to Wrexham to celebrate them getting the trophy at home, and and the team will play full-blown attack.
Yeah, that'll be the game they are presented with the trophy, essentially, because it's the last home game before the season's end. So, not the perfect. And I think unfortunately, the Middlesbrough, that second spot, I can see going to the last game of the season.
Me too. Yeah. So, it's, and for everybody, it's away to Sheffield United, then international break, away to West Brom, home to Southampton, not fun, away to Birmingham, not fun. The only hope is for us with that game is that you go lose now and it's all over. That's our hope.
Yeah. I still would say at home we're going to be strong no matter who we're playing against.
Yeah, my hope is I think you're strong at home. My hope is that the mental fact that you can't make the playoffs at that point in time, like 3 more games down the line, but I don't think that'll be the case. But yeah, again, tough game. Home to Stoke, good game. Away to Oxford, going to be tough because they're going to be in the fight for relegation. So, and then away to Coventry, home to Middlesbrough. It is brutal.
Yeah. There's not many games you look in that list and go, well, there's 3 points. There's 3 points. It's one of those where every single one's going to have something riding on it to a point.
How depressing, John. I don't want to talk about it. It's got me upset now. Let's have a look at.
No.
Yeah.
I was going to say, yeah, have a look at our running. It's actually, if we were much more in contention, it's a lot nicer.
Well, here's the thing. I just said I hoped you went on a bad run leading into our game, so it was dead rubber.
You don't.
Why don't I?
Well, you want us to beat Derby on the weekend, probably.
Well, no, I think what I'd want is a draw against Derby, a loss to Blackburn, and a loss to Ipswich. Now, I don't think that's happening because I don't think you're losing to Blackburn.
Not at home, no.
No. I mean, away to Derby, I can see you getting a draw there. But I can also see you winning, but I can also see you losing. So I can't tip that with any confidence.
No, if I was a betting man, my money would be on Derby to beat us on the weekend. Would be my money, because I think they at home should want it more than we do.
And look at that: 3 wins, 3 losses in their last 6, and they're 3 points outside the playoffs. Surely they have to be the most desperate of the sides.
They do, but then again, that's on the flip side with Derby. They're a side that like to sit back and play on the counter attack. So it's very hard to sort of beat the team.
Good for you.
Yes and no, really.
I think you're a good side with the ball.
We are a good side with the ball. I think the problem we will have is Derby are very good on the transition, and we've been all season a bit, I won't say lax, but we've been susceptible to a simple ball into a channel over the top of our not wing backs, but full backs who push on quite far. So it does feel a little bit like perfect scenario for Derby. But like I was saying, yes, they should want to win more, but it's very hard to be that side when you are naturally a defensive counter-attacking side. It's not exactly like you can go on the front foot, or you don't want to go on the front foot.
No. And to be honest, if you guys win, you're only 1 point behind Derby at that point in time.
Yeah. This is what I said. Some Birmingham fans said it. We have the fixtures to put ourselves back in the race, but you've got to do something in the fixtures. We play Derby, we play we play Hull. So the fixtures are there, but you've got to win them, and you're relying on people slipping up, which I don't see happening.
Okay. And well, let's look at the full running for you guys. Away to Derby, home to Blackburn, away to Ipswich, home to us, away to Hull, home to Preston, home to Bristol, away to Portsmouth. Geez, that's a pretty good fixture list, to be fair. So I can see why your fans could have some hope.
Yeah, it's the annoying thing is like you said, you've got the Blackburn game, you got the Portsmouth last game, Bristol, Preston. You've got some games where you think at that point does a lot of sides have much to play for? Where if you're in with a shot, then you've got the fixtures for it. I think the problem is we're just not going to be in for a shot at that point. I think it's going to be sadly gone by then.
Well, okay, I'm going to go through what I think you'll score. I think you get a point against Derby, 3 points against Blackburn, so that's 4. Lose to Ipswich, probably beat us. So, that's 7. probably lose to Hull, and then win home for another 9 points. So that's 16 points. So that's 2 points a game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So 16 points, which puts you on 69 points. Yeah, that's not going to get it done.
No.
Yeah. That's my just quick back of the napkin as I look at them now. And yeah, there's arguments to those tips, 100%.
Yeah, I if I'm being honest, I think if we've got any hope of getting back in the fight, I think we have to go the rest of the season unbeaten. We can't afford to lose a game. That's the way I look at it. And we're probably going to have to go and win some games where, we're going to have to go to Ipswich and probably get a point. We're probably going to have to go to Hull and maybe pick up 3. It's those sort of, you're at those sort of levels.
I think 73 points might get you into the playoffs.
I suppose the argument could be, which it's unlikely, is we've got games like you said against you, against Derby, against Hull. So
Bristol,
Bristol. Yeah,
so
but
you're talking about the games above us.
Yeah, well, it's more of a, people sort of say, you've got to get in there, and it's like, well, you've got games against teams above you, so it's the best way to overhaul them is by taking points off them. So
yeah, if you beat Derby, Wrexham, and Hull.
Yeah, but then it's all for nothing if you go and yeah, but that's all for nothing if you go and lose to Blackburn and lose to Ipswich and lose to Portsmouth, if you know what I mean. So
yep. Well, Southampton's just gotten into the 6th position. Now they also have an FA Cup game. So and that is at the start of Easter at home to Arsenal. But just their championship run, home to Oxford, away to us, home to Derby, away to Swansea, home to Bristol, home to Blackburn, home to Ipswich, and away to Preston. I like that run.
Yeah, I mean, I did catch a bit of Wrexham time last night where I think Scum Army came on. Bless him, he's doing the usual sort of, playing down his own team's chances, which is, I didn't buy it for a second.
No, I think we should get him in here.
But they've just got quality. I mean, the thing is with them, they've underachieved all season. They should not be where they should have been challenging for automatic promotion with the squad they've got.
Agreed.
So the thing is, we look at the fixture list and say, that's a tough game, that's a tough game. If that squad plays to its potential, they're not tough games. They will be expected to go to places like your ground and win. And
well, if that squad plays to its potential, John, the only tough game is at home to Ipswich.
Yeah, and it's at home.
Yeah.
So
they could win home.
They could do, and I mean their recent form is pretty darn good, and there's lots of W's in that recent form. I think they're on the longest unbeaten run in the division right now, isn't it?
Probably. I think. Yeah, Scum Army, let us know. Are you on the unbeaten run? You're too good.
So, yeah, I mean the thing is, I see them catching Hull and overtaking Hull. If I'm honest.
Oh, yeah, I'm saying that with absolute almost certainty. They will overtake Hull.
Yeah, and I think the problem is you look at Hull's running. Hull's running is pretty kind.
Yeah, just give me a second. Hull. Here we go. Hull's last 8 matches. Home to Sheffield Wednesday. Away to Oxford, then we go home to Coventry, away to Sheffield United, home to Birmingham, away to Leicester, away to Charlton, home to Norwich. That's pretty tough. It's not easy.
But they are 5th for a reason, so
Agreed. And this is what I was saying about both our games against Hull and Watford. I was worried about Watford with their pace and their hot and cold, and I was worried about Hull because they're above us on the table over a season. There's a reason they're there.
Yeah. It's the Millwall scenario, isn't it? I mean, we've played Millwall twice this season, beaten them 4-0 and got trounced 3-0 up at their place or whatever it was. And you kind of come out of it going, I don't think they're a particularly good side. And then you look at the league table and you think, they kind of have to be, really. You have to give credit and respect where it's due. They may not be pretty, and every time I see them play, I kind of question how they're there, but they're there on merit.
Yep. Scum Army, 13 unbeaten cup and league. Yeah, not a bad
Well,
run.
that's going to end against Arsenal, isn't it? Let's be honest. So
you would think so. And do they just, send out the second string squad and concentrate on the championship? I think they do. But their second string squad's still good.
Yeah, it's still good, but yeah, I mean,
I'm not saying they're going to win, but it's Arsenal.
Yeah, I do wonder if, I mean, some fan bases get really uppity if you don't take cups seriously. I don't know the Southampton fan base really that well, so I don't know what they're like. But you would imagine now they're right in the, I mean, they're in the driving seat for the playoff places. You would say surely chance of promotion is greater than putting on a brilliant performance and losing 2-1 against Arsenal. It's. Yeah, I think it is. As Scummy said, chuck the cup in the bin. Yeah,
there you go.
Not going to win it. So what's the point?
Yeah. Like I mean, and especially with such a short run home now in terms of A, time, and B, games. That extra game in there means there's a makeup game to be had there by them.
Yeah, and plus also, say you put out the full strength side and one of their best players gets injured against Arsenal. I mean, it shouldn't happen, and it probably won't happen because I think the manager will protect his best players. But yeah, you just can't afford to do that.
No, and you mentioned your games against Millwall. Same with us. We went to Millwall, beat them 2-0 at the Den. Then they come to the Stoke Coras and beat us 2-0. Now, I will say that when we beat them, they were a shadow of the side that beat us.
Same with us.
Yeah, we got them at the right time to beat them. And then they come back and got their revenge. But their run home, this is interesting. Away to Ipswich. Away to Ipswich, away to Middlesbrough, home to Norwich. Next 3 games. Like, that's brutal. Then away to West Brom, home to QPR, away to Stoke, away to Leicester, home to Oxford. Last 5 games are good.
Yeah, I mean, for them, it's kind of a question of how beat Ipswich and beat Middlesbrough. You're really, you're in the driving seat for automatic promotion at that point, probably.
That's a fair point. That's a very fair point.
Because it could be massive. But even if they lose those 2 games, they've got the run afterwards where you'd say, well, they're going to comfortably be in the playoffs, aren't they? So,
Actually, John, I'll take that a step further. They draw against Ipswich and Middlesbrough, and I think they're in the driving seat for auto promotion.
They're
only 2 points behind it.
Yeah, I'm not sure they'll be in the drive. They're still going to have to outscore Middlesbrough and Ipswich in points wise, and I'm not convinced they've got that.
But Ipswich and Middlesbrough's run home are nowhere as good as theirs.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Middlesbrough, next game is away to Blackburn, then obviously home to Millwall. So I'm saying they get a draw there. You'd think Middlesbrough beating Blackburn. So that means they would be 5 points behind Middlesbrough with 6 games to go. Middlesbrough away to Swansea, home to Portsmouth, away to Ipswich, home to Sheffield Wednesday, home to Watford. No, I take it back. And then Middlesbrough away to us. Yeah, that's they'd still be confident of holding off Millwall.
Yeah, I mean, if anything, I would say the Middlesbrough and Ipswich would probably look at it and almost say that they'd take a point against Millwall, keep them at arm's length, carry on. I think if Millwall want any chance of getting into the automatic, I mean, they're already in the automatic race, but if they really want to be, in a good position, they have to beat Ipswich and Middlesbrough. They've got to win those games, whereas Middlesbrough and Ipswich don't.
No, that's fair. That's fair. I'm looking at Ipswich's run. I actually think they can afford to draw against Ipswich, but they have to beat Middlesbrough. That's what,
yeah.
That's what I'm looking at here at the moment, because Ipswich, although Ipswich do have the game in hand, which is being played on the 14th of April, your time, the Portsmouth game. So they are home to Millwall, home to Birmingham, away to Norwich, away to Portsmouth, home to Middlesbrough, then away to Charlton, away to West Brom, away to Southampton, and then home to QPR. Wow.
Some tasty fixtures in there, but they're a good side, so yeah, it almost, they won't.
Second last game of the season, away to Southampton, John.
Yeah,
that'll be a banger.
Well, it could be, and it might not be. You never know. Southampton might be clearly in the playoffs at that point and can rotate a few, possibly. You don't know, do you? That's the thing.
Yeah, we're a long way from there, aren't we?
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Southampton might fall off a cliff, or they might go and win the next couple, and then, bit like a Sunderland, can take the last 3-4 games of the season off. Who knows?
Well, or Southampton win the next couple, and all of a sudden they're starting to talk about being an outside chance of auto promotion.
I don't know, 8 point.
No, I'm not saying it. I think Middlesbrough's runs. I hate saying too easy, but an easy enough run that I think, yeah.
I think the problem is something like Southampton is, can you see them being 8 points or 10 points better off over the next middle? No, yeah. I mean,
and if it was like compared to Ipswich, if you think Ipswich is beating Portsmouth with their makeup game.
Yeah, I mean, if it was like if you were where we are in 10th and you're chasing, say, 7th and 6th down, you could make an argument for it because teams in and around there do blow hot and cold, will drop points. If you're in first, second, third in the league, the reason you're there is you rarely drop points consistently. So, to make up points on those teams is distinctly harder than it is to make up points on, say, 6th place. So
yeah. No, I agree. I agree with you. Yeah, it makes for great viewing. That's why the Championship's so good.
Well, it's the best league in the world, isn't it? Let's be honest.
Best league to watch. Yeah.
Best league to watch. I've long said it's the perfect scenario is to play a season in the Championship, win promotion, and then start the following season back in the Championship and just not bother with promotion to the Premier League. I hate Premier League football. It bores the hell into me.
Well, that was my theory around us trying to somehow get to a point of being a full-time Premier League team. I think it takes probably 2 bounces. Definitely at least one.
Yeah, but it's hard for me to say because I've experienced my team being in the Premier League for a number of years. So sure. I remember the day. I remember going to games where you're basically looking to just try and merely survive and draw games. You don't go into games trying to win because the level even back then was the way it is. So I just and plus also I must admit I watch Premier League games now, and they're really sterile, boring games of football. Everyone plays kind of like how we try and play. It's all pass, move, sideways, backwards. Look for there isn't. I mean, you don't get mistakes as such, and there isn't that like the Championship's kind of end to end where both teams go for it. You don't get that in the Premier League, to be honest.
Sometimes when I watch the Premier League, John, I watch it and I go, are these players paid so much money that they don't want to go in and tackle hard and do these things and get injured because they make so much money? So we'll just play pretty football.
Yeah, but then again, I don't blame this is one of the things, I don't blame modern day footballers for it. I blame the rules the way they're written these days and VAR, because you can't do anything. You can't tackle anyone these days, can you? Because if you slightly mistime a tackle these days, realistically, VAR pulls you up and it's a red card.
Yeah.
It's mad. I mean, prime example was Dobson, wasn't it, against Chelsea? Wasn't a malicious challenge. He didn't go and hurt the player. He was just too slow and mistimed it. And the difference is that's why players in the Premier League will never do that sort of challenge, because they always know if 5 times out of 10 or 6 times out of 10, if you do that and mistime it, you're off the pitch.
Yep, and that one tackle cost us promotion, John.
I think it's slightly deeper than that, but if you want to claim that, I'd go for it.
Not to be sensational or anything.
Well, you're taking over as the emotional one now, are you?
I don't think I can pull it off. I just can't. I can't pull it off. I can't pull it off. Yeah, I'd love to say I could, but I just can't. Yeah. So, and on the Premier League, I mean, I'm looking at the table now on who's going to get relegated. Well, Wolves are going to get relegated. There's 8. They've only got 7 games left. There's 8 games to go for everybody else. So except Arsenal, who's on top of the table, obviously, and looking like they're going to win it. Burnley's probably coming down. Like, they're 9 points off getting out of it, and really 10 points when you think of, maybe not, because you wins versus losses. So it's really West Ham, Forest, Tottenham, Leeds.
Yeah, it's depressing, isn't it?
Which one of those teams goes down with Burnley? I'm going to say Burnley's going down. Burnley and Wolves.
I think it might be West Ham.
Well, they're in that spot now, so
I think personally, I think it's West Ham or Forest. I think I don't, as much as it's fun and all that to poke fun at Spurs fans and stuff, I don't see him. And for the life of me, I do not want Spurs in the Championship next season. None of us want Spurs in the Championship next season.
Scummar's saying they don't want to be in this league next year.
No,
I actually do, but that's okay.
I think it's one of those where, from a spectacle side of things next season, I think it will be great. As a fan of a club that want to try and progress, like both of us, if we don't go, if either of us don't go up this season, next season, again, the ambition will be to try and get in the playoffs and try and get up. This season This season for me feels like, if both of us don't go up, it does feel like an opportunity missed for me. Not because I think either of us have blown it on that or whatever, because the league table doesn't lie at the end of the season. I just feel that next season is going to be increasingly hard to do what we've done this season, And I know the playoffs are down to 8th and all that, and that might be a godsend for maybe either of us, but yeah, the team's coming down, and the quality that's going to be. I mean, we've not had it this season, because you've got Coventry and Middlesbrough, non-parachute teams that have done what they've done. I don't see that happening next season. You're going to get, Wolves with that squad. Burnley, let's face it, they average about 100 points every time they're in this damn division. Then you're going to get a West Ham and a Forest, which, let's face it, they're going to be ridiculously stocked. And then you're going to have one of Ipswich, Millwall, Southampton, somebody, not all of them can go up. So there's going to be leftovers. And then, hey, if Leicester survive, who knows what the ownership does there, then there's a lot of variables. Next season could be an absolute bloodbath, which this is what frustrates me, is this season is starting to feel more and more like an opportunity missed in that regard.
So next season, let's talk through us both not going up. Let's just play out that scenario, because it's more likely than than not likely. Like, if someone wants to take a bet with me that Birmingham and Wrexham, either one of those teams will go up, I'll happily take your money. But Yeah, so I look at it and I go, well, Coventry goes up, but Burnley, Wolves, and let's say for the sake of the argument, let's just call it West Ham coming down, that the team that's currently in the relegation zone. So those three teams down with, let's say the top three teams go up as they sit on our table now. So Coventry, Middlesbrough, and Ipswich. Yeah, and there's a good argument to say those three teams will go up. So that still leaves Millwall, Southampton, possibly Leicester, Norwich, when you think how bad their first half of the season was and how they are at the back end of this season. So, I mean, and, you know, like you say, if Leicester somehow stay up, and depending on what their owners do. But you know what the funny thing is for me about that is, John, is that I think both your team and my team will be better next year than they are this year. And I actually relish the opportunity to be fighting those teams in the championship next season, even though I know how hard it's going to be. I think it'll be great football to watch.
I'll remind you of that after like West Ham come and pump you 4-0 and you just sat there going, we didn't play bad.
Okay.
Yeah. I do get your point, and yes, I totally agree. I suppose it's one of those, isn't it? It's like I said, it's the spectacle over the ambition. You know, what do you
want out of your football? What do you want out of your football?
Yeah, you know, do you want it to look good and be pretty and watch great football, or, you know, do you want to be successful and get results? Hey, each to their own. I just think it's next season. I like you said, if playing devil's advocate, if we don't both go up, yes, both of us will spend money. Both of us will improve. Yes, we will be better than last season. The problem is, I just think the gap where we need to get to is going to be too much. It's going to be too much of a gap when you're going to have like Wolves and, you know, Forest and or West Ham and Burnley and that, where I just think that's going to be the problem.
I think both of our teams, John, will be around where Wrexham is right now next season. Right on the bubble.
Yeah, possibly. I do think both of us will have to spend some serious dough in the summer, if I'm being honest. I think
you got give them some. You got 17 houses, don't you?
Well, exactly. But no, I think this season has proved one thing where some of our business was hit and miss. Yeah, we've signed some good players. Some of them haven't worked out. You know, I think you guys have signed some really good players, but I think squad depth is probably an issue for you.
We've missed a couple of key positions.
Yeah, and I think that's ultimately the difference maker in this league. If you want to be chasing sixth, fine. But if you really want to be in those, you know, in the hunt, shall we say, for promotion, and I'm talking top two and, you know, third, fourth, in those high end, in those playoffs, every single player in your squad needs to be good enough at the high end of this level. You know, you can't carry players.
I'll get to us in a second. What positions and players would you need to put yourself in that position? How many and what positions?
Well, straight off the bat, goalkeeper, because we need a goalkeeper. Left centre back, because we need a left centre back. I think we're going to need a new midfield next season. Well, obviously we've got Doyle, who will go back to Wolves. So whether we need one or two midfielders today, and I think front line, we need to address the front line.
Yep.
I think we will need to go big on a proper goal scoring striker next in the summer. I think we've tried to do it with a lot of, I won't say fancy footballers, but, you know, good technical footballers, but we don't have a number 9. We don't have somebody where you'd say his job and his career is basically just been scoring goals. We haven't got one of those players. You know, Stansfield scored a lot of goals in lower league, yes, but he's not a 20 goal a season man at this level. You know, we've signed Dutch, who's never been a 20 goal season man. He's more of a number 10. I think that was a glaring position we didn't address this year, which I think next year, if we are serious, we need to go out and spend some big dough on a front man.
What you do have is the worst haircut in the league.
Okay.
Beadle.
He's not our player, so it doesn't matter.
He's online. I'll tell you, he has a shocking haircut.
Yeah. He frustrates me because I want to hate him sometimes, but then he does some brilliant saves. But I do struggle to see this wonderful future England #1 that everyone talks about in him.
So hang on, who's he on loan from?
Brighton.
Ah, okay. So Brighton's had him out everywhere, like Crewe, Oxford, Wednesday, and you. Yeah. Wow. Okay.
They rate him really highly as well. By the sounds of things, they have no, or this summer there was no sort of inkling that they would be open to sell Beadle whatsoever. It was very much of a loan for a season. That was it. They will reassess. But again, I don't see where he's not going to go to Brighton and play for them in the Premier League. He's not ready. He's going to be on loan for another season, maybe 2. I mean, the thing is, we all forget he's only 21, 22 or something like that. So he's incredibly young for a goalkeeper.
21. Yeah.
But I do question, personally speaking, some of the fundamental attributes he has to be a goalkeeper at Premier League level, because at Premier League level now, you have to be the whole package. You have to be big, strong, command your air, good shot stopping, good with your feet. He ticks a few of those boxes, but not all of those boxes.
Yeah. So how many players did you come up with then?
Straight off the bat, I think we need goalkeeper, centre back, midfielders, striker, 4, maybe 5, and that's just 4 to 5. But I think we will need more. Yeah, it's going to be more than that, because notoriously you will lose a couple of players as well, which you probably don't expect to lose. Some will go, so it'll probably be more than 4. But yeah, I would say 4 or 5 players off the bat, which we will need to spend some dough to get proper quality.
Yep. Well, I'll let you go first, because I thought, better to do it that way. I think we need 4 players to add to our current squad. I think we need 2 wing-backs, 2 quality wing-backs to add to one either side. I think we need another quality midfielder, and we need a quality striker to add to our existing squad. And, and that's sort of, that makes Smith like your number 3 striker. That makes, Sheaf and James your second midfielders. It makes, Thomason definitely a backup wing back, as well as he's done. And I'm not slighting any of these players. I'm just saying, that these, like you said, these guys, whoever you get in, needs to be absolute quality, top of the tree, and another wing back on the other side. So you end up with basically Thomason, Kabore, Longman as not your best wing backs.
Yeah, and wing backs is difficult because it's such a specialist position.
Well, Thomason wasn't a wing back, and he's been put in that position, and he's done well. Scum Army saying replacement for Kiefer Moore. My replacement for Kiefer Moore, Scum Army, is Katamateri, and I have a feeling if we get minutes in him at the end of this season, I think he's going to develop into a very good player. I just don't think he's had the opportunity yet. But he won't be top level. He will be a replacement for Moore, and that's interesting. Yeah.
I think you loan him out next season.
Okay. Yeah. Well, it depends on who you get, doesn't it? I guess it depends on how many you buy.
I think, I just playing devil's advocate here. I think if you start next season and he's, say, an option on your bench, I don't think you've had a good recruitment.
Okay.
I would say if you're looking, Kiefer Moore, like you said, Kiefer Moore needs to be your off the bench option next season. Katamateri for me is he's behind Smith, isn't he? Let's be honest. So he's next season. For next season, I would say he's 4th choice striker. You bring in somebody new, Moore's your 2nd choice, then you've got Smith, then Katamateri is your 4th choice. Question is then, is being 4th choice, not even being on your bench, or occasionally being on your bench, beneficial to him? he'd probably be better off going on loan, playing some football.
For me, his second choice big man. In like specifically Moore, Katamateri, Smith, somebody else.
Yeah, I'm not sure he's a big man though, in the sense of a target man. I'm not.
No,
He's a big lad, but I don't think he's that sort of target. I don't think he's that type of striker, even though he's a big lad. Plus, I think he's still very raw. To be honest, I think it's. I think he was very much not a gamble, but I think he was very much of a.
I think he was a good buy for the price. You know.
I think he was somebody that they looked at and thought, do you know what? It's cheap. We can afford it. You know, he doesn't need to come in and actually impact the team. We're not relying on him to do that. He's one for the future. If it works out, it works out. If it doesn't, it doesn't. You know, it's one of those where it's a win-win-win. And you know, hey, if it doesn't work out, you haven't lost an awful lot of money, have you? Let's be honest. So, but I don't think he was brought in with a sort of long term. He's the key for more long term replacement. I think you will develop and move and progress as a club probably more so than he will as a player.
It's an interesting observation. Interesting. Got good numbers for the price tag. Yeah, you're right, Scumami. And Dave Hilditch saying about Thomason playing wing back when he was young. Yeah, but then he played the last few seasons in the middle, probably due to where he was and the qualities. And look, ultimately, I just think, yeah. And I mean, you know, what are we talking, like averaging 20 million a player to try and make a difference?
It depends on the position, doesn't it? I mean, it's one of those. I would say, yeah, front man, you're probably going to be looking. I won't say 20 million. You're going to be looking at, 15, maybe around there for a front player. But you'll be able to pick up midfielders, decent midfielders for a lot less money, unless you're going to go absolutely ridiculous on a midfielder. But
is decent going to cut it? Is decent going to cut it, John?
Yeah, it will do. I mean, hey, look, you go out and spend £7-8 million on a central midfielder at this level, they're going to be top quality.
Yep, fair enough.
Or you go the Coventry route, for example. You go out and take a gamble on a few, players out playing in Europe and that for lesser money. It's horses.
Yeah, but it hasn't really worked out for Coventry that well, has it?
No, not really. No.
I mean, they're only on 77 points, 7 points clear at the top of the table. And they lost their last game.
The worst thing about Coventry doing that? There's a lad at work who's a Coventry fan, and I owe him 20 quid.
Well, the problem, that's a bad one for you. The bad one for me is got a good mate over here that's a Burnley fan, Pommy guy, and then it's going to be on like Donkey Kong next year with Burnley.
Oh, don't touch that one with a barge pole, Ken. Stay well away from it. Don't involve any bets with Burnley in this division.
No, I won't be. But we will be having some fun anyway. We might have we might have a lunch on it or something. Like we have a cheap lunch somewhere. Yeah. So that'll be fine.
Yeah, you need to go and buy yourself a Bolton or a Blackburn shirt or something just to wind him up, because obviously Burnley hate those two clubs. So yeah.
Well, it might be Blackburn if they're still in this league.
Yeah.
So yeah, Scummy, Birmingham and Wrexham have done great this season. Well, yeah. If you was told you would be at these positions in the league now, you would be disappointed, lads. Honestly, no. Well, I said 7th, and I'm happy with it. If we finish 7th, I will be happy. I don't know. What about you, John? What was your pass mark?
I probably would have accepted a very close playoff run, so like 8th or something like that.
Which you think is still probably going to happen?
Do you know something? I would not be surprised if we finished 8th, but we won't be it won't be in the playoff hunt. If the league table will probably end up looking better than it actually was, if you know what I mean. But no, I'll be honest. This season's been it's been an underachieving season. There's no two ways about it.
You're 10th now. If you finish 8th now, right, at the end of the season, is that better than being in 5th now and finishing the season poorly and finishing 8th? You'd probably feel a lot worse with that at the end of the season.
You'd feel worse, but it won't be better. No. just finishing 8th because you had a good run at the end of the season, but you were not realistically in any kind of playoff hunt is not a success. To be 5th and be in the playoff hunt all season, for argument's sake, and then miss out, you'd say, well, you were there all season, and yeah, you fell short at the end. But no, I think it'll be, I think we'll be like 8th or 9th if we're lucky, and I think we'll be looking for a new manager in the summer.
There you go. Yeah, I mean, we fought our way into the playoffs. We're now sitting just outside the playoffs, so we're in that scenario where you're talking about being in the mix. And right now, with 8 games to go, and can we do it? Can't we do it? Yet to be seen. I think if we're going to get in, it's going to be at the expense of Hull. It's not going to be at the expense of Southampton or Millwall or Ipswich. And are we going to get in? My gut's telling me no. Sorry, guys. Sorry to all the Wrexham fans out there.
I think you've got some really big away games, haven't you? Some really tough away games, and I think realistically, but at home you probably back yourselves against most teams at home. You'd say at home you've got a chat. I think the ones that will determine will be those tough away games. You need to take some point. I won't say you need to go and win some of them, but you can't. It's like one of the. I'm not sure you can come to us and lose, if you know what I mean. And I don't think it's like. It's
not
like, again,
I'm not talking about the playoffs.
No. Again, I'm not sure you can go to Sheffield United and afford to lose either on the weekend.
I absolutely think if we lose this game this weekend, which I'm very nervous about, just for the simple fact of where our gas tank is redlining. We're on empty at the moment. We're crying for the break. And if we lose this game, Southampton win, Hull playing Sheffield Wednesday, all of a sudden we're 3 points behind Southampton and 6 points behind Hull. Hull are playing Sheffield Wednesday. They should win. So, if we end up 6 points behind Hull and 3 points behind Southampton with 7 games to go, I do not like that scenario for our chances of making the 6.
Yeah, and then worst case scenario is Derby turn us over.
Yes, of course. Yeah. Well, I think that's done and dusted then. Any faint hope that those other fans have right now, that's it. Yeah, but you go away and win it, and they get to dream for another week.
It's always good to dream, Ken.
Absolutely. Well, mate, that's been good. It's been good to have you in. I think that's been a good footy tip show. I look forward to you getting your tips in. I will say, actually, I don't want to say, but I will. Where is it? I will bring it up. It's looking good for you, is what I will say. So what was that? Southampton, Norwich, 1-0 to Southampton. I'm just updating the footy tip sheet as we speak. So I'll let you fill while I do this, mate.
I'm going to say, I think I did predict Southampton to win, but I have no idea what everyone else did.
Yep. Well, I can tell you now that you.
I think I did pick up some points on your weekend as well, didn't I? I think.
Yeah, mate. Yeah, you've done good. I'm not happy about it.
Creative math needs to be coming out, does it?
Well, here's the thing: Watford versus Wrexham, no one got a point. No one.
Do you know what really done me in is I typed that when I sent you my tips. I typed 2-1 Watford, and I went, nah, they'll get a point. I wish I'd started. Lesson: stick with your gut.
Yep. And there we go. So an extra point for you and Harry all over means, here you go, me on 203, Paddy 198, Aaron 196. He had a terrible last weekend. You 208, John. You got a 5-point lead. And yeah, Harry all over 191. So you have a 5-point lead now with 8 rounds to go.
5-point lead with 8 games.
Now, when I compare that to the table, obviously, I don't like what I see. But, I mean, let's face it, 5 points outside. You're 7 points outside the top 6, can't make it. 5 points outside is Watford. Yeah, I wouldn't say Watford can make it. So
have you just kiboshed your own hopes there, Ken?
No, because remember, I do the math.
Right,
so
okay.
I'm almost certain I'm going to catch you.
Out of interest, what was the winning score last season?
Oh, I can't remember. I'd have to go back. That's a lot deeper dive. If I've still got that sheet somewhere,
I'm just thinking now. You're 5 points behind. It's kind of like me. Okay, whatever. I just need to beat last season's winning score now, don't I?
Well, I mean, you know how quickly it's funny because with the way we do this system, where you get a point for the score, it only takes 2 correct scores and a win, and all of a sudden you're right back there.
I threw that one out in that line out there, and you hooked it perfectly there, Ken.
Massively. Well, when I look at some of the best results of a weekend, I think it was 12 points someone got one weekend. Harry All Over got 13 points. Back in round 34, and Paddy can happen. So, but that was a long time ago. So, and I've got my tips in. The draws are happening this weekend, John. It's all on you.
Okay. I need to. I do my usual where Friday morning coffee and look at the fixtures. That's what I do.
Yep. And Scum Army, do they have to wear a Birmingham shirt if you win, John? Well, I don't think that's very fair, John. Do you?
No, I wouldn't do that.
Because you wouldn't wear a Wrexham shirt. Well, you wouldn't wear a Wrexham shirt.
I would. I'd burn every opposition fan's shirt.
If I thought he would wear one of them, I would package it and send it from Australia to John. Actually, no, to be fair, I'd just go and order one from the Wrexham shop in Wrexham.
It'd be cheaper.
Way cheaper. In fact, actually, what would be better? I think the ultimate would be I'd have to send John down there to pick it up, and we'd get it video. That would be the ultimate.
I know what I should do. I should order a Birmingham shirt with Brady number 12, shouldn't I, in the back and send it to Josh?
That's a good idea. And you could order it from America.
Yeah.
Which is a hell of a lot cheaper.
Yeah, he'd like that, I can see.
He'd put it up. He'd hate it, but he'd put it up.
Well, yeah, let's face it. It can't be any worse than his chair. So, hey.
Well, yeah, that's true. That's true. Unfortunately, he did have to duck away with work through the middle of this show. But, yeah, so what have we got today? Tomorrow's Tack Fortitude. So, yeah, we'll try and break down how we can possibly get a win on the weekend, even though I've tipped us to draw. So that's on Aaron to come up with some sort of result for us over Sheffield United. And then we get into the weekend and we get into the games again.
Yes, we do. And we're the early one, but you're not, are you? You're the...
no, we're not the early one. You're the early one.
We're the early one,
yeah, so I think you can... it'll be interesting to see how that plays out, mate. Yeah, but thanks, everybody, for jumping in. Only been a light watch today. I hope you all enjoyed it. So that was... We've broken it down. We've basically figured out that neither of us are going to make the playoffs, according to us.
Yeah, we're all depressive and negative here. Yeah.
But I mean, while there's still a hope, so we will see how it plays out. I'm sure there's more twists and turns to come. I'm looking forward to it.
Indeed.
Yeah, and you're welcome, Sarah. So, guys, on that bombshell, we will see you all again soon.